Hello, this is Ken. Thank you for watching. A while back I had a little puppy. His name was Malchik. Malchik is a Russian name for boy. And so we called this he was a German Shepherd, by the way. And I got him about 6 weeks, 7 weeks old, something like that. And when I took him outside, whenever he had to use the bathroom, I always said, "Get busy, get busy." I said it like in a high-pitched voice, "Get busy, get busy." And dogs are kind of attracted to that high-pitched sound. Dog whistles have a high-pitched sound, that kind of thing. This little dog, every time he went to the bathroom, I would say, "Get busy, get busy," and he connected, audibly, those phrases, "get busy," with using the bathroom outside, taking a leak, whatever. And so it got to where before, if I was out taking him on a walk or out running him or whatever, before we went back inside, I would always say, "Get busy, get busy." And he would try to go to the bathroom before we went back indoors. And I had him trained. Anytime he heard "get busy," he was trying to use the bathroom outside. He was trying to go. And I made a mistake one time. I was at my desk, I was studying, I was into a project, really deep into it. And he comes running down the hallway and he runs into the room behind me. Ruff, ruff, he's wanting to play, that kind of thing. And I yelled out, "Malchik, get busy." I was trying to get him to leave me alone. I said, "Get busy," because I was already busy. I yelled out, "Get busy," and you know what I heard from behind me? I heard this little tinkle going on the floor. He was well trained. He connected that audibly. He knew what to do when he heard that sound. I made the mistake, and I didn't punish the dog for using the bathroom indoors because it was my fault. And there's a place in the scriptures where you also see some signaling take place with animals. For example, over in Genesis chapter 30 and verse 38, just a little bit of background before I read this text. Here's a man by the name of Jacob, and he's a really good businessman, you might say. He's a really good steward of animals. And Jacob is a Shemitic. As a matter of fact, later in his life, God changes his name to Israel. And he's been a steward of Laban's cattle. He's taken care of all his cattle, and Laban kind of owes him some money, like back pay, that kind of thing. And Jacob is really good. He's really good with managing cows, that kind of thing. And what Jacob does, he reaches agreement with them and says, "Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. All the regular colored, like all the brown cows, Laban, you keep those cows. And I'll take all the spotted and speckled and ring straight cattle." In other words, if there was design on their coat, there was design there, he would take those cows. But he would raise Jacob would raise all the cattle and take care of Laban's cattle. And Laban thought, "Hey, that's a good deal. He's going to take care of my cows, and you get these cows, I get these cows, and you're going to take care of all of them." He thought it was a good deal. So they made a deal. And what he did, he had these cows trained. Whenever the cows got in heat, whenever the bulls got in heat, what he would do, he would take certain types of wood, and he'd strip the wood and take the bark off, and put these rods down in the water into these troughs. He would put these down in the water, and every time they got in heat, they would see this. It was kind of like they connected by taste and by visual. They connected these rods with what they were getting ready to do, what was already happening. And I'll read you the text from the scriptures here. We're in Genesis chapter 30 and verse 38. "And he set the rods which he had pilled before the flocks in the gutters and the water troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink." And what he was doing was, now remember, just the brown, regular colored cattle were Laban's, but his were the spotted or streaked or whatever. So what he basically did, after all these cattle were used to the signal, that whenever his cattle or the bulls went to drink water together, that he would put the rods in. So what's happening is his cattle are getting the signal to reproduce, and Laban's cattle are not getting the signal to reproduce. And so obviously over a period of time, his cattle would increase and Laban's would not increase. But that's just a Bible example of training an animal. Back to dogs, there's all kind of things you can do with dogs. Like Malchik, when I started training Malchik to fetch, when he was just a little puppy, I'd get on the floor with him. I'd have a little object like a tennis ball or a little stick or something like that. And I'd play a little tug of war with him. And then I would throw it. And he'd run and get it. And I'd take it away from him. And then do that process over and over again. And so it kind of became a game to him where he knew if I had an object in my hand that I was going to throw it and he was going to run and get that object. And after I took the object out of his mouth, I always petted him like, good boy, good boy. He's like being rewarded, you know. And after a while, he wanted that recognition. He wanted to be rewarded by his master, you know. And so I'd take a little object, him as a puppy, I'd throw the object across the floor or down the hallway or whatever, and he would chase after that object and get it and bring it to me just as fast as he could. You know why? Because he wanted that reward. And I wasn't using food, I wasn't using anything like that. He just wanted to please his master. And finally, I transitioned, I took him outside, and I did the same thing. I would take an object and throw it just as far as I could. And he would run and get that object and run back to me full speed and just practically jump on me with the object. He wanted recognition and reward and praise from his master. He'd run up to me and give it to me, and I would praise him and hug him, and good boy, and he's ready to do it all over again. He was wanting recognition from his master. And from there, you know, there was a lot of other things you can do. You could actually hide the object from the dog, and when the dog finds the object, you give him praise and all that. And then there's even tricks that you can do. You can even put like scents, some kind of a scent on a tennis ball, and then hide the ball, and he'd find it because he get used to smelling that scent. And from there, you can do all kind of things. I never tried it, but I heard of people taking like money, like dollar bills, and microwaving them with something like a tennis ball, wrapping up the tennis ball with a dollar bill, rubber bands around it, and microwave it, and get that smell, that ink smell from the bill to transfer to the outside of that tennis ball. And basically we're doing that to train the dog to find the tennis ball. But if you didn't have a tennis ball, the dog would be out searching for that smell. And he would, like if you were taking him out, he'd sniff in somebody's pocket, go up to their pocket and sniff because he's smelling the money or something like that. And the sky's the limit and all kind of little tricks you can do with a dog, that kind of thing. You can train him with food or it could be anything. It could be like anything that you wanted that dog to find. If you could connect the smell of it, you could connect the smell to that object, and him finding that object, he would find the smell. A dog has built-in sensors inside of his nose. He's got real powerful smell, and he can smell objects from a long way. If you can train him to want to find that smell, he can expect reward and praise from you. And that's just a way of training your dog there. Anyway, that's how to train. There's all kind of ways of doing it, but that's just one little hint from the scriptures as far as what Jacob was doing. He was putting those rods in the water, and those cattle were seeing those rods in the water and tasting the water. I'm sure the wood was a little acidic or something like that, a different taste, in the water, and they'd sense all that. They'd visualize it and taste it, and it was a good hint. It was a good hint to go looking for it. Cattle are smart. Cattle are very smart. I've been in many agriculture communities where they actually, each home had their own cows. And a certain time of the day, they would open the gate, like in the morning. And all the cows just automatically start walking out to the street and walk in a certain direction. And what they did, they rotated different parts of the land. Every day they took the cattle to a different place to graze so the cattle could eat grass, that kind of thing. And they did it repetitiously to let the land rest. And those cattle were trained. I've seen them do it. And then in the evening, they take the cattle home. And the cattle are just walking down the roads, and their owners just open the gates. And I've been with them, like hundreds of cattle just walking down the road, and the owners open the gates, and the cattle know which homes to go to. They just walk in their gate, right back with their owner, And they're trained to do that day by day by day, repetitiously, and it happens over and over, over and over again. Well, hope this little conversation about dog training has been a blessing to you. Thank you very much for watching.